Okay. Hi guys, my name is Evan. I'm one of your mods from the Little Root Lessons Discord, and I'm back with another Draft League recap. So now we are going into our top 16. So this is a recap on the 8 matches played for the top 16 of our Draft League. Things are really going very fast and coming close to an end. Then stay tuned at the end of this recap for a huge announcement that I'm very excited to show, to let you guys know. And here with me, as usual, I have my buddy Hakim.
Hello, I'm not a mod, and I'm guessing the news is not about me. So yeah, it's all good. Let's go.
The news involves you because I want you to
Alamak,
be
no,
part
no.
of my team. Alright, spoiler alert. Okay, let's go through our top 16. So this is the bracket. Yeah, like you guys can see this in the Discord server. There are a lot of crown group, like the green teams, like teams from the green group, and then the trend still continues. Later when we see these top 16 narrow down into top 8, then here's the way I'm going to talk about each match, because we only have 8 matches to go through. So first we go with the team preview, then the mons that they brought, like the mons that each person led with and the mons you brought in the back. Then we go in depth and talk about how the match went and see who won. So here's our first match between Swede and Chasing, between the Rothus Regirock and the Atlanta Ampharos. And something that I didn't mention in previous recaps is that take a look at the seed. So Swede is seed 7 and he's player 7, which means he was the 7th player in his draft, in his group to draft. And then it's very interesting that I saw a trend that the players later in the draft tend to be doing well in our draft league. So there are a few factors. I think maybe they are not pressured to pick those very strong mons. And secondly, I think these people tend to be the more experienced players in our community. So it just so happens to be that way, but we are going to see a lot of big numbers, like player 7 to player 12 going forward. So do keep a lookout for that. So Hakim, what do you think of this matchup between these Calyraxes? So our first match is starting off to be an exciting one, right?
Yeah. Well, a fight between the two horses, or I mean the two riders in this case. You always think that Shadow Rider will have a bigger advantage. Honestly speaking, seeing that there's follow me, and then there's fake out on Chasing side, he can always prevent the speed swap if he did use speed swap from Swede. So he has that to stop it from happening. Of course, he can also just go Scarf, Bravery, Tailwind, and just negate all the possible speed swap as well. So on paper, I would think Chasing has a better upper hand in this matchup, and also his Sun mode to just pressure off right from the start.
Yeah.
So maybe Sweet will prove me wrong. So let's see how the match goes.
Yeah. Shoutouts to NJ, Raid, Bauerdet, and you guys. Shout out to you guys for joining in and tuning in. The other voice is my buddy, my training buddy, my partner in crime, the guy that I always build with for my draft league matches. So actually, a lot of my draft league success comes from him because I really bug him to test the matchup on and on. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Ro, you got that right. Thanks. But I beg to differ, like based on this team preview, right? Because Sweet side, except for that Pheromosa, his team is very bulky. So like helping hand Astro Barrage sometimes might not be enough. So Chasing really needs to put in a lot of work to break through that bulk. I feel like the Ice Horse is always better than the Ghost Horse, maybe in a draft league format. But let's see how the match went.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. So Yeah.
Yeah, about that, thanks.
So Swede constantly leads with his Morgrim, as we see in all his previous games. And he switched it up between game 1 and game 2, but always having that Morgrim by his side as support. Then Chasing, so from this we see that maybe something went wrong because Chasing switched up his leads. At first going with Calyrex and Clefairy, and then switching up to the Sun mode. Yeah. But then you still have to take care of Morgrim's many abilities like Fake Out, many moves like Fake Out and Thunder Wave and maybe even Scary Face.
Trick, screens. There's so many things he can do.
So I really think that like I'm a bit curious as to why Chasing did not lead with Fake Out. Yeah, very strange. So let's see how the match went down. Yeah, so these are some notes that I put in place, especially for the games where there are coverage. Yeah, and it's very good to know. And I really want to thank our community, right, for trying their best to stream matches. So shoutouts to all of you guys who get to stream or record your matches so that we can have a clearer understanding of what went down. Yeah, so if you want to look for Swede's match, take a look at Swede's Swede's Twitch channel in his VODs. Yeah. So the mistake that Chasing went with, oh no, I did something wrong in the previous slide. Yeah, so this Clefairy was supposed to be the Togedemaru, so it switched places. Yeah, but then but from here we see that although Chasing led with Fake Out, it kind of backfired. Yeah. It kind of backfired. But then I think Chasing made a crucial mistake, forgetting that Steelix has the ability Sturdy, and then directing a max move into Steelix, essentially wasting a max move. Then I think Swede did some very good prep because his Steelix had the move Payback, and I honestly still don't know how Payback works. I know that my Regigigas has Payback, but I really don't know how Payback works, so I need to do a bit of research. But that Payback did almost 75 to 80% to a Dynamax. Mind you, it's a Dynamax Calyrex Shadow. That's insane. And then that gave Swede a lot of momentum, because on top of that, Swede also prepped instead of Screens Morgrim, he prepped Lagging Tail Morgrim, so that once you trick your Lagging Tail on the Dynamax Mon, the Dynamax Mon will always move last, no matter which speed condition you're in, Trick Room or not. So overall, I feel that like Swede managed to pull off the win off of very, very good prep.
Yeah, I think I personally wouldn't expect that. So there's a really good tech on Swede's end. Sturdy, man. I mean, really good call there.
Then in game 2, you can see Lagging Tail at Venusaur, right? That's because Chasing Dynamax Venusaur in turn 1, and then Swede quickly tricked the Lagging Tail onto Venusaur. So that means Venusaur will always be moving last, right? Then in the correct position, Swede managed to get Lapras to set screens. Although Lapras went down to 2 of Venusaur's max move, right? But then Calyrex in the back comes in. Then Calyrex just clicks Glacial Lens, and because it's faster than Venusaur, right? Then it just takes the KO and gets the free +1. And then Lapras paid attention to the Ninetales and took it out. So Ninetales is not a problem to Calyrex. Yeah. Then in the end game, so here I have some screenshots. So in the end game, it was Calyrex Clefairy versus Calyrex Morgrim, right? Then Calyrex Shadow, I feel that Chasing should have went for Helping Hand and Astral Barrage, because based on the screen you see this Calyrex, it was at full HP. Sorry, Calyrex Eyes. Oh my gosh, like there's too many Calyrex around. The Spider-Man pointing fingers. So on the screen you see Calyrex Eyes, right, at 26 HP. That's after a raw life of Astral Barrage. So if Chasing went for the Helping Hand there, I think he would have easily taken both KOs. Yeah. And then
That's true.
Swede,
That's true.
and then Swede had one mon in the back, which was the Steelix. So it should still be manageable for chasing to win the second game. So that's why you see Swede's reaction there, like he's shocked that his Calyrex survived. Then his Calyrex didn't go for Trick Room. He just straight up went for
went for the glacial lens.
and then
I suppose.
easily took the KO. Then you see him popping off at the top corner. Yeah. So, but
Yeah, I think that's
yeah, but I can see why Chasing went for the Follow Me, because he's afraid that Morgrem could go for the paralyze, like the Thunder Wave into full para.
okay. That's
Calyrex
that's
Shadow.
that.
So that's quite unfortunate. But from this slide, we see Swede taking a commanding 2-0 victory. I think off of the very good prep.
I mean, I guess for any players when they are, making calcs and stuff, we rarely make a calc for screens. Like, we don't take into account how much damage will it do when the mons are behind screens. I mean, for those who do, I mean, kudos to you. For at least for me, I'll be like, oh, if screens up, I'll be lucky to get a KO. If not, I always assume that I may need like a helping hand boost, or get a +1 boost or something. So maybe Chasing was counting on a crit or something, just to he was playing safe to Follow Me, hoping for a crit or something to get the crucial knockout. But yeah, I think this is where you're right with the bulky team of Swedes. It really
Prevailed, right?
clutch. Yeah, it was clutch. It clutched out for him.
Yeah. Then Aaron is asking, does Prankster Trick Iron Ball work on the same turn? No, it doesn't. So
No, I think it's the
Iron
same.
Ball works exactly the same as Lagging Tail.
Lagging
no,
Tail.
no,
And
no.
is it? No, Iron
Lagging
Ball
Tail
is
is the same as full
slows you
incense.
down.
Yeah, Iron Ball makes you minus 2
Slows
speed.
you down.
But I think
So
it still
in
takes,
Trick Room, sorry.
I think it still takes the next turn to do it. So because these things, right, the items manipulate your speed stat, then it doesn't work on that turn. Yeah, because I've tried it before. I've tried the Iron Ball thing, and it didn't work on that first turn. But I'll get back to you, Aaron, because it does immediately? Oh yeah, okay, then I'm wrong.
Iron Ball
does
is
immediately.
different from Lagging Tail and Full Incense.
Full
Full Incense and Lagging Tail, I think is confirmed to work on the next turn.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter you're in Trick Room or you're in whichever speed state, you always go last.
Okay, yeah, then
Whereas-
Sebber is correct. Yeah, Sebber is correct. The Iron Ball works immediately. It works like a Thunder Wave. It halves your speed right after you trick. It makes sense because the Iron Ball manipulates your speed stat, so it works immediately because currently in this format we have dynamic speed changes. Okay. But I think Lagging Tail is like definitely an item that we see gaining popularity, and I think it's a strategy that is really valid. Yeah, I would arguably say that it's more valid than eject button. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. Okay, so congrats to Swede, and this is one of many upsets in our top 16 bracket. Because Swede, the 7th seed, managed to defeat Chasing, who was the 1st seed. Yeah. Okay,
Well
next
done.
match, Spencer versus Ro. So 2 seed versus the 5th seed. I also want to mention their names. The Texas Tornadoes, featuring a Tornadoes Therian in his team, which Spencer brings very, very frequently. So that's very impressive because honestly I don't really know what Tornadoes Therian does. Versus Ro, okay, it's not Atlanta Emperors. Ro's team is the Delco Dialgas. Yeah, and his mascot is Dialga. Then shout out to both players for being very late in their drafts. Player 12 and player 11. That's very impressive for to get so far with your team. Yeah. So this is the team preview. Once again, Spencer is the team that we ranked as interesting, right? Back in week 1. Then he made it this far. Oh, excuse me.
Mewtwo. Wow, this I mean, of course, comparing restricteds, Dialga looks in a good spot to take a lot of the psychic type hits from Mewtwo, but of course we cannot underestimate Mewtwo. It has a very wide move pool. Pretty sure it has Focus Blast, but I'm not sure because it's not step, so not sure how much you can do. And he has 2 flying types, which is like food for Colossal, you know.
Yes.
And then the Arcanine, so the Colossal seems to be in a very good spot here.
Very spot on observation. So later when you see the teams that they brought, it's very obvious what happened. Then one thing I want to note on Spencer's team is that I think he's been doing very well with the Thunderous. Because Thunderous Eye has been popping off in the current meta, and I think it's very good in this restricted format because it kind of does well against a lot of the restricted mons, but sadly not against the Dialga that we see in front of us.
I mean, for Spencer's case, he may want to be cheeky, run Prankster, Eerie Impulse to neuter off the Colossal or even the Dialga, but it may backfire because in game 2, adjustment by sending out the NDD could just stop the Thunderous in its tracks. So yeah, let's see how it go.
That's a very interesting
went down.
process. Yeah. So here, do you see what happened? It's so obvious on Ro's side.
Okay.
So one thing to note, right, is that the Colossal is not Gmax. So the Blastoise is Gmax, as you can see from the sprites. But I believe the Blastoise went for Aquajet. Yeah, I think Ro can confirm. But I think that's a very valid strategy, right? Because from team preview, you do see that a lot of mons are food for Colossal. So you don't really need that Vocal Leaf damage. You can just pop off.
Be nice to have Vocal Leaf, but I think the weakness policy, if it was weakness policy, then I doubt any mons will want to take the Rockfall. I don't see Komo-O being brought in, so yeah, there's no mons that would like to take a +2 Rockfall. So yeah.
Oh, Ro also said interestingly that the Prankster, the Thunderous was really Prankster. So
okay. And Ro didn't bring his NDD into both games, so
yeah.
Okay, but let's see. I think Ro won. Looking at he didn't change out his lead, so or even change out his 4. Let's see.
So yeah, Ro confirms that it was Aquajet weakness policy. I think very good identification of your win condition. Against Spencer's team, because Spencer's team, it does stack a lot of weaknesses, to be honest. Yeah. So it seems like a very commanding win, but I think sadly maybe Mewtwo didn't have stat moves to go off of, so I think Mewtwo couldn't do as much damage as Spencer would hope. I would hope to do. So quite unfortunate, I think.
I think
he didn't identify that threat of Colossal and prep harder for it.
Yeah, I mean, if he had Persian to fake out the Blastoise, that would have been possible. So
true, that's something that
he doesn't have Follow Me, so that's a bit unfortunate. And bringing Lele and Prankster, now I think about it, bringing Lele and Prankster Thunderous, it could have gone bad. I mean, looking at only Drifblim being the flying type, so Spencer probably has to be very mindful of bringing both Thunderous and Lele into the same sending out Lele and Thunderous into any games. So as we see game 1, he has Lele and there's no Thunderous at the back, and then in game 2 he dropped the Lele and brought it the Thunderous.
I will go so much to say as like maybe Spencer could have adjusted to purposely put that Umbreon in front, because I think Umbreon might not die to a +2 max rock fall. Then,
Yeah.
he can.
I mean, it depends because I'm not, maybe Ro can, share your secret because Arcanine is always threatened by Colossal and he's the only intimidate mon, and if he does see the Thunderous running Prankster Eerie Impulse, he could maybe have just went physical Colossal and just negate all that Eerie Impulse. So doesn't matter. He doesn't even need the Psychic Terrain because
that's interesting.
his special attack doesn't matter. It's all about the attack stat.
Yeah. Then one thing I also want to add that somehow magically work in Ro's favor is that no, is like what happened in Ro, like what happened is that this Colossal is not G-Max, right? So it sets max rock fall to boost its special defense against a very specially oriented team. So somehow the stars align and I think Colossal really pop off. Yeah. So good job. I think.
Are you in PC3? If you are in PC3, alright. I see it.
There's a chance of winning. Okay, congrats to Ro again. So the two winners, Ro and Swede, will be playing each other again because these players have been playing each other in our previous draft leagues. So let's see how this matchup goes. Seems to be quite even because both has sort of a fast mode and a slow mode. So excited to see how this game will turn out. Yeah, I really think that my advice to Swede is that I don't know because he hasn't been bringing his Landorus a lot, and I don't know. I think Landorus might help. Yeah, but the thing is there's a Blastoise on the field. So
looking back between your game and Swede, he didn't bring Landorus, and I called that out being one of a missed opportunity for him. So now that he's fighting another Steel type, so do consider bringing in Landorus being one of your Gambit. Of course, maybe Dialga does run Ice Beam, but then Blastoise does check the Landorus as well. But Landorus also does well against Colossal with the if it's Sheer Force, Life Orb, Earth Power, or Max Colossal, maybe make a cult, could kill. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe it could.
So like Navia is saying in chat, this matchup seems to be very even. So let's see how these two players prep against each other for this week.
Yeah, I think this could be good because they do have mons to check. Let's say like Landorus just check the Dialga checks the Calyrex Ice, and Colossal checks Calyrex Ice. So maybe based on what I'm seeing right now, I would say Ro has the more offensive tools to target down Swede's most offensive threats.
True.
But having Incineroar, having Lapras, these are very bulky, very tough to gun down mons. He can play the slow game out, get into the right positions and chip down and drop all the stats of Ro's team, and you never know, he'll take the win.
Yeah, nice. Okay, next up we have our third match between Stevie D and InSpace. See, once again, player 9 and player 10. These players drafted very late in the draft. And then, mind you, our draft wasn't a snake draft. So you go from player 1 to player 12 and then back to player 1 again.
Then you back to player 1, right?
I think this kind of shows that the later drafts, like they managed to draft bulky teams and then the bulky teams really pulled through. So here, interestingly, it's a Ho-Oh versus Lugia matchup, but Stevie D didn't bring the Ho-Oh. In my mind, I always think that Lugia is a water type. But sure enough, it does have Hydro Pump, but I don't know, maybe Stevie was too scared of it, not sure. Yeah.
It would have been nice to have a hard gold Soul Silver game, but okay, that's fine,
Yeah.
Ho wasn't brought in. That's fine.
So here are the leads. So it does seem that InSpace has a very clear game plan, always leading with the Grimsnow and the Lugia, which he has been consistently leading throughout the game, and I think it's a very solid lead. Yeah, like we don't see this often in VGC, but I think it works well in Draft League, especially with the coverage moves that Lugia gets. Because from looking at InSpace's replays, I think he's been using Lugia very, very well, prepping the correct moves for each week. Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to quickly mention their team names. Stevie D's team is the Short Heels Slurpuffs, and he has a Slurpuff.
Very, very, very short. What was it again? Short what?
Short Heels.
Short heels.
I don't know where that is. Yeah.
Maybe strawberry shortcake, or maybe like Slurpuff shortcake. I don't know.
But he's been bringing Slurpuffs.
That's wordplay.
He's been bringing Slurpuffs quite consistently. I think not bad, very interesting. Then InSpace's team is called the Somerset Squirtle Squad. Yeah, okay, let's jump into the matchup. See, I think not having a restricted mon on Stevie's side makes his team, it doesn't look as offensive. And then like my question is, how does he break through that Lugia, right?
Yeah, because that's exactly what I thought of as well. Because with Grimsnow, I'm pretty sure it screens. Lugia being very bulky, you can just set up one screen and then start setting up with Carmine with the multi-scale. With his ability, which I'm pretty sure that's what InSpace brought. He can take one hit, Carmine, and then, or maybe InSpace went for the fling. Does Grimstar get fling? I'm not sure.
No,
but if he does,
Grimstar can easily sucker punch to proc the policy.
Yeah, proc the policy. So yeah, then there's that as well. But looking at what Stevie D brought, at least the 4 that he brought into the games, it seems very tough to break down a screen's Lugia.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's the Rotom setting up Nasty Plot, I think it will be very tough. And then for the game 1, Seed, Unburdened, Slurpuff maybe wants to go for a fast, is it a yawn? Or maybe a fast yawn, just to force a switch in or a switch out from InSpace side, but it does look tough to punch through any holes into InSpace's team.
Yeah, I think the assessment is very on point. Then I think it's a very missed opportunity because on turn 1, Stevie D's Slurpuff went for Helping Hand. Although he got the boost, right? Yeah, Unburden boost. Then unfortunately it's a grassy seed, so you boost the defense, so it does not help against a potential weakness policy Lugia, right? So I think that wasn't a very accurate. I think he didn't really use that Slurpuff well, so unfortunately it didn't help him win the game. Then Slurpuff could only go for Dazzling Gleam, and then from what I saw in the replay, and it didn't do much damage, especially towards the Lugia, which promptly Dynamax on turn 1. Then on top of that, InSpace prep eject button on his Trick Grimsnow. So there's like a further warning sign that Stevie D cannot lead with the beat up, the Dragapult Terrakion beat up strategy, right? Because because InSpace has a very clear strategy for that. So I think it makes sense for Stevie not to lead with the Terrakion, but the problem is that Lugia is going to keep stacking up Airstream boost. So how is your Terrakion going to try and counter that after? Yeah. So it seems like a very tough. Like InSpace had a very good game plan that Stevie D could not break through.
I mean, if there was one swap that Stevie D would have loved to get, would be to take the Urshifu single strike from InSpace so that he can check the Lugia,
Oh yeah.
I think it's if it was done intentionally by InSpace to take the Urshifu just to get rid of one of the biggest spread to that was a good call on him. And furthermore, that Urshifu does threaten the Dragapult anyway. So yeah, I'm not surprised with the win by In Space. Very bulky. And on Stevie D's side, if he did bring the Magnezone, that was probably the clearest way to stop the Grimmsnarl. But besides that, yeah, with the right EV spread on Grimmsnarl, it does look tough on Stevie D's side to even take the knockout on Grimmsnarl.
Yeah. Oh, thanks to Josh for tuning in, and see you. Have a good day ahead. Thanks
Yeah,
about that. Yeah, and then I think Stevie's adjustment in game 2 is interesting because that Scarf Rotom had Eerie Impulse. So Eerie Impulse is one good way to slow down that Lugia,
yeah.
but it still wasn't enough. Then then like that Tangela came in because In Space didn't want that weakness policy. No, he didn't want the eject button on Grimmsnarl to proc. So he hard switched Grimmsnarl into Tangela and then gave Tangela a +1 boost. Then Tangela just kept going for Giga Drain, which is super effective on Rotom and Terrakion, interestingly. And Tangela's special attack stat is no joke actually, it's base 100. It's stronger than Lapras. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so and then just so happened, I don't know why Stevie D played so defensively and switched in that Rillaboom, giving Tangela a grassy terrain boosted Giga Drain. So things really went south very quickly. I feel that it was a series of very unfortunate events, and then Stevie D really lost a lot of momentum and couldn't catch up. So it was a very commanding win from In Space, I would say.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Good adjustment on In Space side also, just to bring in the Tangela. I mean, whether he did predict the Rotom to have came in the lead, especially for game 2, and he prepped the Tangela. Wow, I think that's really great on him, especially to even stand by the Tangela in one of his 6. So,
yes, yeah. So I watched the match, and In Space did his own commentary like in the background, like sort of like how I do it. And I think I really recommend you guys to watch In Space's Draft League matches on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I will have a playlist somewhere in our Discord. Then his thought process is that Dragapult is Sash, because he found that out in game 1. So if the Dragapult is Sash and not safety goggles, therefore it's safe to bring my Tangela. Then I can always redirect the beat up. So I think very good game plans from In Space overall. Yeah. Okay.
And he didn't even need the Raikou, so
Yeah.
well done.
Impressive. Did he bring Raikou in team preview? Yeah, he didn't even bring Raikou in team preview. I think his Snarl Mon of choice is Arcanine for this week. He always alternates. He always alternates between Arcanine and Raikou. Okay, so that's all for this match. The next match will be mine.
Skip.
Yeah, just skip lah. Watch my Twitch VOD if you are interested. But the long story short is freezing Regigigas. Made its first debut and did very well. Yeah. Very well. I think very well. Like for me, I do test a lot with Hakim, so I'm very aware of the threats that Paris can bring. So I think if you watch through my replay, it does seem like my team with its items really hard counters Paris' team. But I think Paris might have to be aware of that. Yeah, so I brought Lumberry on Regigigas. I brought Shuka Berry on Weezing, so you cannot Max Quick doesn't kill me, Sleep Powder doesn't sleep me. Then at the end I also brought White Guard, so I'm not affected by Earthquake from Diggersby, Heat Wave. I'm also not affected by Dazzling Gleam from a Xerneas that's set up. So Yeah, I will also say that this is like a series of unfortunate events for Paris, because everything really went wrong. And oh yeah, and additionally I brought substitute on Weezing, and then that really, yeah, that really put a wedge in his plans. So yeah, quite unfortunate there.
I
But
think yeah.
I would say that the scarf on Venusaur, I think that's okay. That's very interesting. Yeah, but a bit of a waste on a mon that can potentially G-Max and do Vine Lash damage.
hmm I think when Evan was playing, I was saying if you don't see Neuven, uh, it would be less of a headache for Evan because although Evan did tell me he prepared Trick Room, but if Paris did stand by a fast tailwind in Neuven, that would have given Evan a little bit of a headache, a little bit of mind games, some guessing game. Can I safely go with the uh, Weezing and Giga Sleep because he just tailwinds and of course he won't just tailwind and start going for the Gmax Vine Lash.
Yeah.
That's one. Or just tailwind. If now this is all hindsight. If he ran a dragon move on the Charizard, then you can have max Wormwind drop the attack off the Regigigas. So with Neuven, with the speed control, it would have been a good utility mon because it also has Taunt, and if you think that leading Neuven wasn't a good choice into the game, then you could just U-turn out and bring in a pivot out and bring in another support mon or another mon just to take the hit. So
Yeah,
for
that's true.
Paris, yeah, the Diggersby was a tough game for Diggersby because the huge power was shut
Yeah.
down by the neutralizing gas. So yeah, the attack output wasn't enough, I feel.
Yeah. And one thing that I think you guys will find very amusing is that the whole time, right, because I haven't used Weezing and Regigigas for almost a month, so the whole time I totally forgot about all the abilities that Weezing shut down. I totally forgot that like huge power was not a thing. I was so shocked that the Diggersby did so little damage. Yeah, that's quite epic. Do take a look. Okay, enough on me. Oh, this was a turn. Paris is quite a funny guy. He told me that, like, why didn't you review Max Rock 4 at all until the most important moment? Because this was the moment that he called me attacking into the Xerneas. So he protected the Xerneas so that Regigigas would end his Dynamax on this turn. Then Xerneas can have a full powered Moonblast into the Regigigas. But I decided not to do it. I decided that I can handle the Xerneas later. Then I went to Max Rock for -1 speed Charizard and took a clean KO. So yeah, really a series of unfortunate events. Then this week, so I'll be going up against in space. Yeah, and I'm really not looking forward because his team is very bulky, especially with Swede.
But Evan says this every week, so don't trust him. But
I think we have
Evan
a lot of
started
work
Series
ahead of
8
us.
or even GS Cup. Yeah, when we played GS Cup, Evan started with Lugia, so he knows about Lugia. So in space, if you can go 5D chess, do go 5D chess with your Lugia. Because Evan has played 4D chess with Lugia before. I think this is
I feel like I do have enough tools on my team to try and like handle his team, because I feel that an important part is that I need to get into a good position. So yeah, let's test things out and find out down the road.
yeah, but it looks like yeah, both sides has good. I would say both sides has good support mons. That's what I would say. And of course Solgaleo tends to have a bigger punch to it than Lugia. But maybe weakness policy Lugia could also deal a lot of damage. But yeah, even having Galawizing does put
Yeah.
things does check a lot of the abilities that in space can have. So yeah, let's see how both of you prepare for each other.
True, yeah. So one last thing to note is that both of us are the top two seeds from our group, from the crown group, and we haven't faced each other.
Oh.
Yeah, we haven't faced each other yet because I
Hmm.
yeah, because my last match was against Zeno. Yeah, then unfortunately Zeno couldn't continue, and then yeah, I didn't get to meet in space, so I'm finally getting to play in space, and I'm quite excited. Yeah. I think in space real name is Aaron. So Aaron, let's look forward to a good match. Okay, we are halfway done. So this is we are quickly gonna go through game number 5. Against the Romford Typhlosions with Dan Chunks and the Jacksonville Jigglypuffs with the cowboy hat and Jiggly. I first off, this is a very bad matchup. So, yeah, can you identify the one mon on Jiggly's side that can easily pop off? Like, not the hint is not the Evaltao.
It's the Excadrill.
Right, Excadrill, right? Look at Dan Chang's team. Wow, Excadrill's is absolutely Excadrill's food. So yeah, really very bad matchup, and like I've seen Dan's YouTube video because he managed to record his match, and like he did give his thoughts in the what do you call it, the about the what's that section, the comment, the video, yeah, the video section, right? Like he did talk about
Okay.
his, like how he's able to like how he thinks he can play better after looking through his review. So yeah, I think that's still hindsight, but essentially I think this is a very bad matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Aleki can't break through the sand core, you know. I mean, the sand core is really strong. And then, yeah, even Circuitry, he brought 2 electric types into this matchup, so it's really tough. And then the Drapion, yeah, it does check the Comfy, but I'm not sure if it could. Can it take one clean KO? I'm not sure because yeah, Comfy just needs to proc the Tita's policy.
Yeah.
It could have been the Tita's policy anyway. So yeah, this I'm not surprised if Jiggly won 2-0. No?
Yeah, but like I think like even if Dan tried to play better during the match, it's still a very very uphill battle, and
Yeah, it's an uphill
he
task.
really
Yeah,
needs
it's
to
an uphill
call
task.
every turn correct. Yeah.
I mean, the Milotic, yeah, is a good check to the sand core, but there is no intimidates for him to fish.
Yeah, fish for the competitive proc.
Yeah, there's nothing for him to get the competitive proc on.
So sure enough, Jiggly just led with the Excadrill, and the Excadrill was life orb, and it just took 3 clean KOs
Wow.
during his Dynamax. Yeah. Then Jiggly also mentioned that he did test the matchup out, so he also prepped Shadow Claw on Excadrill just for the Necrozma.
Nice.
So, but actually I'm
Just
not sure
to
why
drop.
like he didn't just go for the Max Quick.
I think he would want to drop the defense stat and then go for a max quick.
So like even Tyranitar
stronger
can
max
just follow
quick.
up. Tyranitar
Yeah,
can follow up with a
maybe.
Crunch.
Be a Phantasm and assurance or something. You never know.
Yeah, true. So
Yeah, but I think Jiggly almost won the team preview. Actually, it's like he brought Excadrill into a double electric league. Maybe then thought, okay, Jiggly is gonna bring Eviltal from the front, and he went gung ho lead with both electric types. But Jiggly called that and like, okay, yeah, you bring that. I am just bringing my Excadrill. And then in game 2, how he saw coming, the Milotic and the Bravery coming into the lead, and he just led with the Raiko. So wow, I think Jiggly really did a magnificent job in this matchup.
Yeah, I think that goes to show like how he's able to use the team well after, it was a very, very good draft coming out of Jiggly, and I think it really put through. Yeah, team is saying that maybe the Colossal from then could have put in work, but then he's always scared of a Scarf, scared of Blastoise in general, right? Like, and even
Blastoise, even the
even Excadrill
Excadrill,
with Sash.
so it's not.
What happened in game 1 was Dan hard switch his Zerkitry into Bravery, trying to call a Max Quake.
It's good.
But Jiggly just went for Helping Hand. The Comfy went for Helping Hand, and Max Rock 4 into the Sash Eleki, because Eleki can't touch. Yeah, Eleki can't touch.
Yeah, that's very.
So after that, it was a clean sweep. Then in game 2, the Bravery is obviously the threat, right? Because you can set up Tailwind. So what Jiggly did was hard switch the Raikou into Tita, get the speed boost, then Max Rock for Bravery. Yeah. Then interestingly, the Milotic went for Scald onto Excadrill and got the burn. But the thing is, after that, after that, Yveltal's in the back. So, and Yveltal with the foul play can easily deal with the Necrozma.
Necrozma, yeah.
It was really an uphill battle. Yep. So, then.
I think no surprise.
So for this slide, I'm just shouting out to Dan. I think Dan is one of our newer players, but really great job for going this far. And then this is one of his thumbnails. I find it quite cute. Like he put the Typhlosion next to the Jigglypuff, and he's been constantly uploading his matches. Although the video quality might not be that good, because he might still be using a cheap capture card, and then he's not very used to recording matches. But I just want to shout out to Dan and thank him for like sharing his matches, so I get a clearer insight on what happened. And also shout out to the rest of us who stream and record our matches. Yeah. And team too. Team is in chat, right? Okay, so the next matchup will be Les and Cooper, the Zacian Rain team versus the Reshiram and the Kind of Sun team. Yeah, the Reshiram Kind of Sun team. It's a very interesting matchup. I think it seems very even, because Reshiram does not really appreciate being in the rain in front of a Kingdra.
Yeah, that's true. But of course, he could just run AV and survive, take the hits better. Yeah, and then of course, Grimmsnarl, the screens.
Yeah.
Grimmsnarl and his screens, it's not gonna be easy to break down. So looking at what Les brought, no surprise, he brought the Grimmsnarl to, which I think likely is to set up the screens. The Fire Water Grass core is solid.
Very solid.
No obvious speed control. Maybe just the Covenant going for Tailwind, but it's not like a priority Tailwind, so not the best. Yeah, and then there's the rain protecting Zacian. So this is quite an even matchup.
Yeah.
To see.
Oh, I just want to note that Les, right? He just brought his top 6 mons, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, that's true.
Like, I think later I can show that a lot of us, like, we go serious mode. Then when looking at my my team this week, I also laugh at myself. I brought my top 6 mons, which is something that I wanted to avoid the whole time, but I didn't know I did it. So funny. I just brought my top 6 mons.
Yeah, whoopsie.
But this happened to quite a few people, and I think this kind of shows like like we are in the playoffs already, so you have a lot to lose, right? So might as well go the serious mode. So let's take a look at the game. So this is our first game that went to the first match that went to 3 games. The next 2 matches are also matches that go to 3 games. So what we did is we brushed through the 2-0 commanding victories, and now we are into the more even matchups and the more interesting games. Yeah. From this team preview, you can kind of see what happened, right? Like who won the game and then who had to adjust, and then after that who needed to adjust again.
Yeah, game 1 looks like a win by Cooper. Maybe Les was calling the Kingdra lead from Cooper.
So Primarina was safe,
unfortunately.
right? Yeah, but then now
I think
leading a Primarina into Rillaboom, that's horrible. And
but it was I guess quite brave of Cooper to lead 2 mons that is very weak to Reshiram actually.
True.
Yeah, so but okay, he won game 1, game 2, yeah, he could go with that. I do respect that. But the game 3 though, yeah, not leading with the King. Maybe does Luxray have Snarl? Does he have Snarl? Does he have Ewing Pulse?
Luxray has Snarl, yep.
Okay, maybe that was what he was going for.
Not sure.
I guess game 3 possibly was a tight game. I can see that happening because there's a lot of mind games, with the Snarl or Eerie Impulse to just slowly drop the stats of Reshiram. Zacian can always just switch out into Politoad to take a Max Flare, and then Luxray has to be there for the Covenite.
Yeah.
But it does look, with the screens up, Venusaur seems like it's gonna be a tank for a lot of Cooper's mons. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so
here's what went down, and I briefly because I was asking Les how, like, what happened, like which game did he win. So he just told me that in game 2 the Corviknight was the MVP and took 3 KOs. Then in game 3 the Reshiram was the MVP. He was able to, like, I don't know how he avoided the raid, but then Reshiram killed Zacian with Fusion Flare. Yeah, so I don't know, it's quite interesting, and it really does seem like a very even matchup that could go either way. Yeah. But then looking back, I think Cooper didn't have much for Corviknight, because if Corviknight was able to set up like bulk up or iron defense, then Luxray is primarily physical, right? So Luxray also can't do much into Corviknight. Then moreover, if Luxray is intimidate, then Corviknight can bounce the intimidate back. Yeah.
That's true.
Wow, throwback though. Like, we haven't seen Corviknight in ages.
Bring back toxicity, man.
Oh, nice. So,
but yeah, it does look like Overnight. Okay, I can see it. I can see how Covenant is able to do well, because Zacian moves these days, a Behemoth Blade can't take out Covenant. He has to run Wild Charge. Then rarely do they run Wild Charge. Sacred Sword, just to negate all the defensive moves, but it's not super effective. So yeah.
Then I also think that the move slots on Zacian are very precious. Like, you might want to, I don't know how you can even hit the Reshiram, because Play Rough is not super effective, because the Fire Dragon typing negates the Fairy weakness. So yeah, he needs to find another way to fight the Reshiram. And I think the Kingdra is the best way, but then so strange, like, he didn't bring Kingdra in the first 2 games.
Yeah, or even lead it from the front, so it's...
Oh, and NJ is saying that some Zacian are running Imprison to counter opponents. I saw this in early meta though. I saw this like last month when Series 8 just started. I think it's quite lame though. Because you need the Zation to either protect itself or press damage instead of trying to counter opposing Zation, especially like sacrificing one move slot for that. It's quite a bit cheesy in a best of one. Yeah, so I think the bulk in Les's team really came through. So congrats on the win to Les. And
Yeah.
we do see that he brought the serious mode. He didn't bring the Nido Queen, he didn't bring the Ditto. Just bring the serious mode. Next matchup will be... Oh yeah, so Les will be fighting Jiggly. Oh yeah, Les team is the Sparta Reshirams. And then also important to note, Les is player 12. He's the last player to draft in my group. And like really kudos to him for props to him for getting this far in our draft league. So like,
This is honestly a good match. So I think it's a match that I'm hyped up for because I think during our second round of, I would say, power rankings, you could say, we took into account the team manager, if you want to call it the pilot, of the team. So to reach here, they have proven to us that hey, they are good players. They know the tools of the team. They know whatever various strategies that the team can pull off. That's why they are here. So looking at how bulky the natural bulk of both sides, this is probably a good game to watch.
yeah, totally agree. And
Yeah, I mean the Evotal and Reshiram, they aren't they are just neutral to each other. Ita, I mean Covenant, this is going back to series 3, 4, even 5,
yeah,
where Covenant is the main answer to Tita Xka. Even you can also say Primarina Covenant, this is like a throwback series, where Primarina Covenant pet with each other, and then just to fend off the top tier during back in series 3, 4 to 5 of Tita and Xka. So yeah, I think this is gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
very very well said. Then I also want to just emphasize that these two players are players that you cannot mess with. I think they really go the extra mile to test the matchup and like build very very solid teams. And it really shows they like their understanding of their teams that they drafted really shines through. Yeah. Okay. So last two matches to go. First one is Sebber. Hopefully Sebber is still in chat. It's
Sebber,
4
Weber.
PM, right? Yeah, it's 4 PM where you are. Versus Yen, the Copenhagen Copper Rajas versus the Comfy Cartel. Oh yeah, Sebber's from Denmark, right? So yeah, that's where he got the name Copenhagen from. Then you see, Yen is also player 12. He's the second last in his group to draft. So really props to him for getting this far, and also like his draft is just ridiculous. It's so threatening with a lot of modes, especially with that Dragger poke. Yeah. Then the Palkia and the Solgaleo seem to be, quite evenly matched up, sort of similar to the Yveltal and the Reshiram. So it's quite interesting.
I mean, Sebber's team from the start, when he drafted this team, we have always been raving of how good that Firewater Grass core is of his. The natural bulk that his team has. He has the tools with Togetic Follow Me, which so protects the Palkia very well. Togetic protects the Heatran very well. Him on top with the Intimidate and Meowstic, having its utility for speed control in Thunder Wave with the screens that he can set up, or even Trick Room if he has to. Sebber has a lot of tools and the natural bulk to I would say carry the team can carry him. To get into good positions, just to pivot out and get into the right position to uh get the momentum back for him. But yeah, like you mentioned, Yen, a lot of threatening modes, and looking at that, he had both the what is that? What does he have? He does have the Solgaleo Raiko Bulldoze Witness Policy, and he also has the beat up strat to go with. So
Yeah,
let's see how it goes.
spot on, man. Very good observation. Cause first of all, we see that Solgaleo Raiko mode, coming through. Cause that smartly avoids follow me from Togekis, right? Then,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that I think Yen should easily be able to take care of the Togekis on game one. In game one, yeah. So it seemed that Sebber was the guy who kept having to improve his game plan, go with a different mode. Then very interesting to see, like even in game 2, Sebber didn't bring Palkia. So let's see how it went down, because I don't have a vote for this match. So
I'll be
we
surprised
can
if
only
Sebber won.
we can only see the results, and here we see
Okay.
that Sebber won.
Wow.
It does. I think
Wow.
the bulk of his team really came through. Yeah, but I have a bit of
Wow.
inside info. I just have one inside info that Yen, he adjusted and he led with Jinx. I'm not sure why. Maybe for the fake out pressure, cause you really don't want Palkia to set up that trick room. Then Jinx missed a very crucial lovely kiss. It's 75%, so it's in Yen's favor, but he missed the lovely kiss onto Heatran, and then the Heatran just was able to commandingly sweep the opposing team with max quicks and max flares. So
Man.
yeah, then Heatran is
I
also
mean-
well protected by Togetic, right?
Yeah, that's true. You can't just really go to a max quick. Let me see. Meow stick. Was it trick? Does it look like a trick eject button? Does it even have
yeah,
trick?
the Meowstic was like clear screens.
Like clear screens. Okay. That game too, I am quite interested. I mean, Heatran against a restricted. I doubt it could pick up a KO.
True.
Yeah, but.
But maybe behind the screens, right? Then it can survive Solgaleo's hits pretty well.
Maybe, but
so unfortunate that we don't get the VOD, but that's okay. At least I get the info of like which mons they led. But I personally feel that maybe Yen could also just stick with his game plan and go with the Bulldoze, because that's something that Sebber couldn't stop. Yeah, he didn't bring.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Sebber didn't bring fake out for this game. So yeah, very curious to know how come Yen didn't follow through and do the same leads in game 2. Yeah. So yeah, that's the matchup.
It's okay. I think still to reach this far, Yen, you did a good job.
Yeah, and I'm also quite sad because he's my only Solgaleo bro that made it into made it this far. And then like I'm the only guy with Solgaleo left, so I really have to try my best to help Solgaleo.
Someone gotta prep the Palkia, right? So
Oh. Yeah, true. Oh, you mean you're talking about my Palkia team?
as in Sebber lah, Sebber someone has to represent the Palkia.
Oh
so
yeah, true. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you like all the teams, all 8 teams right now in top 8 have different restricted mons. Isn't that cool?
damn.
It's damn sick.
So
Yeah, RIP.
where's the evil Taos?
Rest in peace, Iwatao. Okay,
It's okay. Jiggly can still prove me right that Iwata is the best, so
Yep. Okay, our last matchup here against 2 I would say very good players, cause coming off of very impressive runs in playoffs. So we have Pokert and the Matsumoto Primarina, seed 1 and player 11. Again, see, we are seeing a very big number. Pokert was the second last guy to draft. Then Kuriboh and the Ferrum Farfetch, our reigning draft league champion. And okay, this is interesting because it's a sort of like a sun and moon thing. Necrozma Dusk main with Lunala. Unfortunate that it's not the Necrozma Dawn
The
Wings.
Ultra Neck, yeah.
But sad to say the Necrozma Dawn Wings has no place in this meta. So sorry.
Oh, yes, Meteor Beam, Power Herb.
I mean Lunala is okay, right? Lunala is protected by the Shadow Shield, but Necrozma
Yeah,
Dawn
but
Wings,
the other one,
yeah,
Prism Armor,
cannot
still
make
is
it.
not gonna take the Ghost and Dark type hits, so.
Yeah, but quite clear to see that Pokert had like sort of very clear modes, a trick room mode and a fast mode, Aqua Jet. Whereas Kuriboh, like you don't really know whether he wants to go trick room or not. Yeah, sure he has the Glastrier, right? But does he want to commit to trick room? So let's take a look.
And Pokert has the Butterfree to protect his Necrozma and Colossal as well, so
Yeah.
solid from Pokert.
So you were saying Meteor Beam, right? Yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, let's look at the matchup first. So we can see that Kuriboh, because Kuriboh is he team builds together with Jiggly, so I think they must have grinded the matchup a lot, and you can see from his leads that Kuriboh had a game plan. Like he knew that this was the best leads for him and the best way for him to win. Yeah, whereas we could see Pokert sort of scrambling and having to try out. You can see 3 different pairs of mons. So yeah, seems like Pokert had a bit of a tough time trying to struggle and find some footing in this match.
Fast fake out. Okay.
But I think notably the Weavile has a faster fake out than Celezo, so I'm very curious to know why Pokert didn't lead with Weavile consistently. Yeah, very very strange.
That's true.
So let's take a look at what happened. Because Kuriboh was the one who streamed the match. So if you guys are interested, go check out Kuriboh's Twitch channel, Kuriboh448. Twitch.tv/Kuriboh448. He has also like a very rudimentary like commentary during the match, so it's quite interesting. So what happened was game 1, Kuriboh didn't fake out. Then the Scarf Butterfree could just sleep powder the Lunala, but unfortunately the Lunala, I think Kuriboh had a lot of plot armor, so Lunala woke up turn 1 and then went for Trick Room. Then he safely brought in Glastrier. Yeah. Then there was one turn where it was Primarina and Colossal, and I think the Colossal Primarina Colossal versus the what Kuriboh led versus Celezo and Lunala. Then I think Pokert should take down one, like focus onto one of the mons, but then he split his attacks. So the Celezo lived on the sash and was able to get a hit wave to make the Colossal fast. Then the Glastrier came in, right? Then the Glastrier just sweep with 3 turns left of Trick Room. So that's how Kuriboh won game 1. Then in game 2, I think Kuriboh had this very clear game plan, because if it's quite obvious who you're gonna fake out. So he faked out the Eleki, which doesn't have protect, and then took out the Eleki easily. Then the Necrozma had to spend 2 turns just to kill Lunala. Yeah, with Night Slash and Max Darkness.
Ow.
Yeah. Then Lunala was faster, so Lunala had Meteor Beam, got a +1 and then did a lot of damage to Necrozma, the Dynamax Lunala. Then in game 3, like Pokert tried the Surf Colossal mode, but Kuriboh is still very prepared, right? So easily fake out the Weavile and Meteor Beam into the Weavile. But unfortunately, I think Pokert kind of read this. He didn't commit to the Dynamax, but he missed the Heat Wave to break the Shadow Shield. So big rip. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. And
but I think kudos to Kuriboh. Wow, I mean to always know that the Celezo and Lunala lead could check whatever that Pokert can bring. That's really good on him. Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, cause it's like the match can go either way. Like but from like, when I watched the match, it really could go either way. Then I think Pokert just had to play better, cause like if he read the fake out wisely, maybe he could switch in, do some safe switches, and maybe even
okay.
sack the
Fair.
boundary to get into a better position. So a lot of
Or if
overall.
Kuriboh didn't wake up in turn one,
Yeah.
but this is the game we play, This is the game we play,
Yeah.
so
And
this happened.
unfortunately, the heat wave had the same accuracy as meteor beam, but Kuriboh connected all his meteor beams, and getting the +1 on Lunala. Then I would say overall a lot of missed opportunities on Pokert's end. Then and also very good prep on Kuriboh's part. The power herb on Lunala and managing the Lunala well in all 3 games. So I think he earned the win and took down a number 1 seed. So a very big upset. So congrats to Kuriboh. One step closer to keeping his draft league champion title. So this is one of the screenshots. The Lunala avoided the heat wave. So very sad.
Oh my god.
Then beside the Colossal, the Weavile just went down. So this will be next week's matchup. Palkia versus Lunala. Two arguably bulky teams. But I think Sebber has the bulkier team. So I think Kuriboh really needs to grind the matchup and get creative.
I mean, okay, looking at it, Sebber wouldn't want to go trick room. Let me think. He wouldn't want.
True, because
Sebber's team is in a middling speed tier.
Yeah.
For Kuriboh, he has a Glacier, so he may want to go real slow. But at the same time, Kuriboh, I think Lunala is naturally faster than Palkia. Correct me. Wait, hold on. Lunala is 97, is it?
Yeah, Palkia is 100. Palkia is same
is
as
100.
Charizard.
Okay, so I mean, if both sides were to set up screens, Sebber will still be naturally bulkier than Kuriboh's team, and he has the defensive type synergy going on for him with the Heatran, Rillaboom, and Palkia. And then for Kuriboh, I think he probably go creative again. Because for Sebber's side, Kuriboh can, more or less figure out what Sebber can do. I mean,
True,
I
yeah.
think Palkia, of course, can run max speed.
So
but for Kuriboh's end, I'm saying that for Kuriboh's team, I won't say it's strange. It's more like the synergy isn't as common, So it's like there's a lot of things there's a lot of surprise factors that I'm pretty sure Kuriboh can come up with. Because looking at it, I am quite unsure what else he can come up with. It's like Celezo, what are the things he can surprise tag that he can come up with. Kling Klang as well can pop up with a surprise. Milotic, you can always go with the call set or the offensive set. So
essentially, what Kuriboh has going for him is the unpredictability.
Correct.
Especially in a draft league format. So this will be one interesting match to watch, and hopefully Kuriboh gets to stream it, so you guys can have some matches to spectate. So that's all for all 8 matches. Here's a summary. This is our round 2 draft, our round 2 tier list, and I think we are doing okay. The teams to look out for will be Ro and Kuriboh's teams, because they seem to be performing very well.
Goodbye, C.
Yeah, C tier. C tier went out in the last round already.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
let me compare. This was the previous one. Like this. Do you see it? Yeah.
Hold on, give it
So
some
now
time.
we are just thinning out a lot of the B tiers.
Hmm. Yeah. So the S tier, damn, two evil tiles went out in the week one of top
Yeah.
cut.
So unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
But I think it's really good on all those players that have made it this far. Whichever matchup that you have faced, were up against, I'm pretty sure you all were well prepared for it. Had a game plans that you all were confident to execute and get the win. So I'm really looking forward to the top 8 games. Yeah, the
yeah.
top 8 games sounds very exciting.
So it's just 4 games this week, 2 games next week, and 1 game the finals next week. So our draft league is quickly coming to an end. Yeah, and then so I already mentioned that all 8 teams here have different restricted mons, and that's so nice to see. Like this kind of result coming off of our very adventurous draft league, because we didn't know Series A was gonna happen, and then we just let everybody use
Mhm.
restricted
Mhm.
mons. So, and then like going forward,
And
yeah, you were saying?
looking at the 8 restricted that made through, it's so ironic how the meta has said that Zacian and Kyogre were the S tier, and look at this top 8. There's no Zacian, there's no Kyogre. I'm not even sure if Kyogre even made it into any of the top cuts. So
Exactly,
it's
right? Yeah, this is
uh,
so interesting to see like a different dynamic in draft league. Yeah, it's absolutely spot on that you mentioned that. It's
yeah. I
very epic.
mean, look at that. Even Shadow Rider, is not in the top 8 right now because looking at how there's a lot of major tournaments that have been going on of course 2 months. So Zacian, Kyogre, and the Shadow Rider has been the top 3 mons that has gathered wins in
Yeah.
all these major tournaments. So look at how this draft league is going. These guys are not apparently they are not top tier in terms of draft league. Even Groudon, is Groudon here?
No, Groudon,
Yeah,
yeah, got kicked out.
even Groudon. Yeah, even Groudon is not because Binu Dawn is considered one of the most stable teams right now. And yeah, well, look at that. We don't even have a Binu Dawn.
Yeah,
So everyone here has skill. That's well done. Everyone has skill. No need to Binu Dawn.
that's true. Yeah, I think it's very safe to say everybody here has skill, and and that also makes like the matchups going forward very very interesting, and they seem to be very even. Like no one team seems to be very centralizing. So I think this also goes back to how you guys drafted and how you guys made trades along the way to come up with very well-rounded teams all the way to this stage.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's all we have for our draft league recap for this week. I put too much attention making these slides, so I didn't update my usage stats, but there isn't much of a change because there's only 8 matches played. But then I think next week we will update you guys with the usage stats to see which mon came in first as the like the mon that took the most wins. Yeah, notably one Raiko team lost and one Raiko team won. So Raiko is still the mon that gathered the most. Like the win-loss ratio is still the highest.
Yeah, but if you go back to the Raiko team that lost when I think was it Yen?
Yeah, Yen. Yeah.
Yeah, Yen. when he brought the Raikou, he won that game. When he didn't, game 2 and game 3, I think he didn't bring the Raikou and he lost. So maybe that was the key factor, that swung the tide of the set.
Yeah.
Raikou.
That's
So
true.
whoever has Raikou, Jiggly, take note of that.
Go forth. So yeah, that's all for the recap. And is anyone still in chat? Because I'm very excited for this announcement. I'm just gonna quickly try and flash this PowerPoint slide. Please press 1 if you're still in chat. Hey, Jiggly, you're in chat. Nice. Hey, KS, you're here too. Thanks for tuning in.
Jiggly,
So,
Evil Tao.
What do you guys think of the slides? Was it clear to see like how the game went down? Because a lot of us cannot stream, and then I think this can be a good backup. Like just show what mons you lead and what mons you brought in the back. Then at least get a bit of action. As you get to see a bit of action on how the matches went down. Thanks, NG. Where is my... Is it this one? Okay, I need to change screens. Presentation. Here, I proudly present. Oh my gosh. Like this? Yeah! Zera Aura. I proudly present shiny Zera Aura with fire.
Everyone should have shiny Zera Aura. Press F if you didn't claim it.
Oh, true that. This has been in the works for a month in my brain, cause I've been doing research. Wait, why is this window like off? Yeah, I've been doing research and trying to flesh out the kinks of organizing a multi-battle league. So, chicken. Alright, yeah, so do look forward to this draft league. This will be our next draft league in Little Root Lessons, and I think we're gonna try and kick it off right after the current draft league ends, which is in 2 weeks. So that's very exciting. Then I came up with the Jiggly is with me in this draft league council, and we are working very hard to come up with the tier list. And the biggest thing, like you can see from this Zera Aura, the biggest thing is that we are going to allow restricted mons and mythical mons. Mythical. So your Zarud, Zera Aura, your Melmetal, your Magiona,
Jirachi, Celebi,
Keldeo, which is obtainable in Crown Tundra, spoiler alert. So all these mons can be played. So really very exciting, and do look out for this. Yeah, a quick run through on how like multi-battles work. Like you can see on this small little image, you need 4 players to connect to the internet and connect to each other and then play a match. Then the rules are that each player brings the 4 out of the 10 that you have drafted. So you can see the Grookey and the Sobble, they are a team. So we join the multi-battle league as teams instead of as individuals. Then you draft a team of 10 mons as per usual, in draft leagues. Then you bring 8 mons in team preview, but you only bring 6 mons in the game. And that will result in a 6v6 double battle. So there's a very small bit of VGC element in it. And I think some people will be very happy that ally switch does not work, because you control your own mon. You cannot ally switch your partner's mon. So I think some people might like this format more. Yeah, so this is something very interesting going forward. So going forward, I'll be setting aside a time to do a tutorial stream, because I understand that 99% of you don't know how multi-battles work. So I'll go through the basics, because I've been watching a lot of multi-battle content. So look forward for that. Yeah. Then Hakim is gonna be in my team. So
Oh shit.
I already
Oh no.
sucked him in. But I think this will be very interesting, because you bring your teamwork to the next level. And speaking of teamwork, I also noticed that a lot of you guys have been working together, with friends that you made in literal lessons, and working together for the current Draft League season. So I am excited to bring this teamwork, this partnership to the next level, and see how everybody plays. Yeah. So the sign-ups and the details will be coming to you soon, because I didn't really have time to do it. But it's gonna be very balanced, and one big goal for me for this multi-battle draft league is to make it beginner friendly. So I would expect like it won't be that difficult to get into multi-battles, and I think it will be a good experience for beginners. Yeah. If you guys are interested, search Among Us Burnouts on. Let me type it in chat. Among Us Burnouts and Sebber VGC. Search these two YouTube channels, because they cover their multi-battle draft leagues, and they have I think 2 to 3 years of experience playing multi-battles already, because they organized multi-battles in Sun and Moon back when there were Z Crystals and
Megas,
right? Yeah, and then once Sword and Shield started, they also continued their multi-battle league. So their system is very robust, and I'm sort of following their drafting system. So by watching their games, you will get a very quick grasp on how multi-battles work, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, I think that's all for my big announcement. So hopefully you guys are excited for it, cause I'm a big fan of Draft League, so yeah, quite crazy about it. And I was thinking, instead of trying to join one, cause the current their current season is still halfway through, and it will take another 2 to 3 months to conclude. So I was thinking, instead of joining one, why not create one? Yeah, and I will make it very beginner friendly, and like hopefully everybody will can be on the same page, and then everybody will come up with very strong drafts together, especially when you can work with a partner and draft at the same time. So look forward to this. Okay, I think yeah, it's 12:30 AM for us, and time for us to take our leave, go to sleep, and time for me to prep for my draft league match, because I honestly haven't started prepping yet against Lugia. Yeah. What is Team Girafferic? It has 2 heads, 1 face for each player. I think you can call your team that. And then do make friends on the Discord, so you guys can look for teammates that gel very well with you. I think that makes the draft league experience more engaging and more like enjoyable. Yeah. Okay, that's it from both of us. Peace. Have a good day ahead.
Yep.
And thanks
All
a lot.
the best to the top 8. Let's go. I'm looking forward to the games.
Yeah, the teams are so good now, right? Like you really don't know who will win. So really looking forward. And thanks as usual to Hakim for joining me. Thanks, bro.
Hey.
Okay.